I'm going to say this once, but as a Spurs player, Andros, you're still keen to win something. You've won everything there is in the women's game.
It's because I play for Arsenal.
Oh, I see. This is why I didn't want to get into this.
It's probably players, when I was growing up, players like Ryan Giggs and the David Ginolas. I've always been a winger, so I've always liked to see the flair players, the players that can dribble with the ball and take players on. And definitely, Ryan Giggs was a player I modelled my game on. It's amazing to see that he's still playing, he's still doing what he's doing. So yeah, I'd say Ryan Giggs.
Who inspired me was Ian Wright. Yeah, as an Arsenal fan, I used to just love watching Ian Wright play football. We just played. It was like he was playing in the schoolyard, you know, just with a big smile on his face, and you could really relate to how he was playing football. You know, you're miserable 1 minute, then you score a goal and everything's great. So yeah, he inspired me.
Is it just goals that thrill you, or are there other elements that give you a real boost?
No, I'm not a real good goal scorer, to be fair. But no, like you know, like Andros said, obviously Ryan Giggs, the way he plays. Obviously, I'm a winger as well. You know, setting up goals, creating. So I think things like that inspire me. Just a bit of flair. You know, get the crowd going. You know, make the game fun for people that are watching.
I think it's improving. I think you can see the facilities are getting better. I think when I was a youngster, the pitches were terrible, and like the games would get called off every other week. But you come to places like this now, and they've got brand new 3G.
Are you
pitches.
impressed with that pitch?
I'm very impressed. Yeah, brand new 3G pitches. You can play all year round. So I think the game's improving, but it's still got a long way to go.
Do you remember when you were sort of, you know, knocking around on local pitches? Was that something you really enjoyed? Because it seems to me that the game is taking kids very early on, and I'm not absolutely sure of their success rate.
I think with me, I was at my Sunday League team for 2 or 3 years, and I got the chance to really enjoy playing football and really fall in love with the game and just have fun, really. And then I went to Spurs at the age of 8. So I went there young, but I still had the time beforehand to kind of enjoy it and learn the game.
The women's game has transformed over the last sort of 5 years incredibly. What sort of advice would you give for a young girl who wanted to become a pro player in the women's game now?
I think it's, you know, the advice I'd give is to get into a youth team, and I don't think you should be scared to go into a mixed football team. I thoroughly enjoyed playing football.
You play with boys?
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was good to play football on the same pitch as boys. It's just being seen as a footballer.
So you weren't afraid of the physical contact?
No, well, not at 8 or 10. Obviously, you know, once we get to these guys' ages, then yeah, obviously, you know, the physical part sort of plays, and then you should be looking to get into an all-girls team, and there's a better setup now. When I was younger, there wasn't any development centres or centre of excellences. There's all that now, and there's academies, and there's a pathway that you can go through and you can train. So it's a lot better now.
I think it's a hot topic at the moment. I think everyone's been saying that we're not producing enough talent, we're not producing enough players, but I disagree with that. I think personally, myself coming through the Tottenham ranks, I've seen loads of players who are good enough to play in the first team, good enough to get their chances, but for one reason or another, their pathways are getting blocked by the foreign players. I don't think it's a case of us not having enough talent. I think the talent's there. I think we need the right people, the right managers to bring the youngsters through.
It strikes me that Tim Shew is one of those managers.
Yeah, I think at Tottenham we have that now. You've seen his first game, he brings on Nabil Bentaleb, who nobody's ever heard of, and he's been playing ever since, and he's been one of our better players. So hopefully Tim Sherwood will bring a lot more youngsters through, and hopefully they do well. Yeah, I remember I was on my way home from training, and I got a call from the club secretary telling me that I was in the squad, and at the time I didn't believe him. I rushed home and put Sky Sports News on, and there I was. So.
No BBC?
Sorry.
Go on, and then so you're watching Sky Sports, and they're talking about you being selected for England.
Yeah, I think at the time it was myself and Ross Barkley as our first call-ups, and they were talking a lot about us too. And it was overwhelming, really. Like I think I made my first start for Tottenham the week before, so it came very soon, and it was one I wasn't expecting, but I wasn't going to let my chance go. you got to block out what other people are saying. You got to try and not read too much of the press. You just got to just do what you've always been doing. I think my debut for England, there was no expectations. Nobody knew what to expect of me, and then the next game I was built up as the next saviour. So you just got to manage expectations and just not get carried away and just do what you do best, and which is playing football.
What right back would you like to play against week in, week out, if you could choose one?
What was that nasty question?
Obviously, I like to test myself against the best, so I'd like to play against the likes of the Glenn Johnsons, even Carl Walker in training. They're the best right backs, and I like testing myself against them.
Are you quicker than Carl?
No comment. I think that the good thing now is that there's no expectation. Everyone's kind of written us off. Don't think we're going to do well, and I think we've got world-class players. You see the likes of Wayne Rooney, Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, and then we've got quality youngsters coming through like Daniel Sturridge, Danny Welbeck, Jack Wilshere. So we've got a good chance. I think the group wasn't favourable to us, but if you're going to win the World Cup, you've got to beat the best team. So
when you guys get together at international level, is there a good vibe? Is there a good vibe in the camp, a good feeling amongst the boys?
Yeah, I think you play against each other. So even if you're new, you know the boys. You banter with them, and I think the spirit's good. You play FIFA with each other. You play table tennis. So I think that as soon as you join up, the spirit's good, and everyone's bantering each other. So it's a positive place.
Now, Andros is a young lad in football terms. Rachel is what we call a veteran in the game. Senior pro. You're a winger. You're both wingers, but you're the senior figure here. What do you think of him? What do you make of his game? How can he improve?
Move to Arsenal.
Apart from that, you've watched his game, and you know we've all played the game, so you have a view. I mean, he's very quick, obviously, but are there things that you've seen about his game that you really like?
Yeah, obviously, the ability to take people on, is a strong point of being a winger, and just being versatile, people, when you've got pace, obviously, people just label you as you've got pace, and I don't know about you, but it used to really annoy me. It was like it was the only thing I could do. So, as I've got older, I've tried to don't take people on, I just deliver. So I think that's something that obviously you bring to your game, and that's what I try to bring to my game, is just to mix it up and be totally different and be totally unexpected, so them right backs, they can't get at you. Marianne Petterson, she played for Norway and played in the same team as me when I played for Fulham, and she was just unbelievable. Again, it was like the ball was glued to her feet. Just every time she was in front of goal, she'd score, and never used to use her laces. Everything would be side foot, just past the keeper. Vision was just unbelievable. That's a tough question. Hardest nation, probably Germany. Just sheer power that they understand the game so well. They're regimented. They're hard to beat. And then once you think you've got round them, they've just got pace and strength, and you just think, oh, come on now. You have one bit to get past them, and they're just a real team. They've got a team ethic, so it's really hard to play against. I think on the ladies' side, because I haven't really played against them, would be Tottenham. So,
really?
Yeah,
Why?
Because I don't know what it feels like to have that derby game, Arsenal-Tottenham, and as an Arsenal fan, I've grown up watching the derby and thought to play in the derby would be
Let's get into it, just for 2 minutes. What's it like? What's that we've played in them, but can you sort of put into words what those games are like?
I've only played in one, which was this season. It's just the whole week. It's built up as the biggest game that the fans look forward to all season. The manager, it's got that special edge, and even the atmosphere at the game is unbelievable. So it's one that you really, when you win it, it's the best feeling ever. When you lose, obviously you don't want to show your face for the next month.
That bad?
Yeah. The best player in the Premier League at the moment is obviously Luis Suarez. I think, how many goals he scored this season? He's got 20 odd goals, and he missed 22 goals. He missed the first 5 games. So that's an unbelievable stat, and nobody can stop him at the moment. He's scoring 2s and 3s in every game. So he's definitely the best player at the moment.
How did it feel when you scored your first international goal?
I think that the fact that I was making my debut was a fantastic achievement in itself. But to then score on your debut and help your team qualify for the World Cup, it's just a dream come true, really. You go to bed when you're at school, when you're a schoolboy, dreaming of playing for your country and scoring for your country. So it's kind of like a dream come true on the night.
Do I go with my heart? Yeah, I'm going to go with Arsenal. I actually think they were actually playing well, and they're looking different to every other season. They actually look resilient. They actually look hard to beat. So, yeah, hopefully they can continue that. And yeah, why not?
Top of the table, why not indeed? Andros?
Out of the top three, yeah?
Top three, yeah.
As long as Arsenal don't win it. The other two.
Wow, this Spurs Arsenal thing gets very, very deep. We'll leave it at that. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we've got time for. Would you give a very special